Hey, tchotchkes. Welcome back to the Cha Cha Beat. This podcast, at least to me, is a little like going to the gym, where, even on days where I really don't feel like it, I know that I just have to show up. I just have to give some effort because if I want to get stronger, faster, better, the only way that's going to happen is if I get my reps in and keep strength building and trying and coming back day after day, even on days like this where I do not feel strong and I do not feel fast. I feel slow and brain fogged and sleepy, but really just if I had to describe it in one word, I would say blah. I just feel blah. My lady tchotchkes out there, you know what I'm talking about. I just don't got it today. But I know that tomorrow will be better if I just whatever I do got, I just give it. I give it to you tchotchkes. I try my best. I just put it out there because you don't really know what you're capable of unless you actually try. So I could keep sitting here in this chair for another 45 minutes playing with my hair and, futzing around with the things on my desk and moving the microphone and really just not challenging myself at all to actually try to actually push to just do like one rep and then see how I feel, see what happens. I could keep sitting here, but it's not going to make me feel better. It's not going to make me feel stronger. If anything, I'm just going to like sink deeper and deeper into the blah. And the thing about the blah is you really just don't want to get sucked into it because once I become sedimentary, it's a lot harder to kind of pick yourself back up again and keep going. Like, I don't want to come to a halt. I don't want to stop. I may need to slow down. I am slowing down. Honestly, whether I like it or not, my body is forcing me to slow down. And I used to really resent the fact that I had to slow down. I would actually come to a stop because I wasn't actually working on anything. I was talking about the Cha Cha Beat. I was talking about the fact that I'm writing a book or that I wanted to write a book or that I had an idea to write this book, but I wasn't actually doing it. And when you're not actually doing anything, it's a lot easier to stop doing it. And now, over the past couple months, I'm sure that you've seen by watching this, if this is not your first episode of the Cha Cha Beat that you are watching, I'm sure that you have noticed that I have picked up some momentum. I am definitely getting stronger. There's no doubt about it. And yet I still have these days that creep up on me and really like they should not be creeping up. Like I know that it's coming. This is not my first rodeo. This is not my first time around the wheel, the cycle, the merry-go-round, the roller coaster. I know that it's coming, and yet when a week ago I'm like smooth sailing and doing so great and so proud of myself for the creativity and the spark and the ease at which I am actually breaking through some like major walls that have been blocking me my entire life. I've been talking about writing this book for like 15 years. I've been talking about doing this podcast for 2 years. And really, it's just been in the last couple months that it's really started to take shape. And I'm starting to realize that, like, woo, like I'm actually doing this. I am writing this book. Not only am I writing this book, but I am doing it in a way that it is accessible for people to read. It is accessible for me to come in and out of the story. I'm not being bogged down by these are all like details that you don't even need to know, tchotchkes. I'm like getting in the weeds at this point because, as I've mentioned, my brain is just like not top notch today. But to all of that, I'll sum it all up for you right now and say, I'm writing a book. I am writing a book. It's called Let Me Out, I'm Stuck. It is a memoir, creative nonfiction, and one of the differentiators of my book is that you do not need to read it in order, which is good because I'm not writing it in order. Essentially, Let Me Out, I'm Stuck is a compilation of short stories, and each story or beat is totally complete in its own. Think of it like a song. You can listen to one song and know get a full experience from that song. Or you could listen to the whole album, a chapter, and get a whole experience of a story being told from song to song and how they all string together and how like a greater story is being told. And or you could listen to the whole compilation of that artist, all of their albums that they've ever written, which would be the book, Let Me Out, I'm Stuck. You're following this metaphor here. And when you put all the chapters together and you listen to all the songs or read all the beats in order, each story stands on its own, but strung together, they tell the grand epic of Let Me Out, I'm Stuck. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh my God, Cha-Cha, that sounds awesome. That sounds so intriguing. I want to know more. Where can I read Let Me Out, I'm Stuck? Where can I read these beats? Well, Tchotchke, you're in luck because I am publishing them as I am writing them. So if you are curious about my book, please head over to chachabeat.com and start reading. It's as easy as that. It's even easier because I'm going to put a link to my website in the description of this video. So you don't even need to type anything. All you got to do is click or tap on that link and it'll take you to chachabeat.com. And that's where you're going to find all the beats from Let Me Out, I'm Stuck. And like I said, just pick one. Anything that is labeled like a Lemoise file it stands for Let Me Out, I'm Stuck, Lemoise. And the file number is actually the date. Little insider tip for you there. And that's going to be like a journal entry from me, like in my head at that time from 2008, from 2011. And we also have short stories that I wrote or scenes that I've written, dialogue, quotes that were inspiring to me at the time. It's a whole smorgasbord of different voices and perspectives, and it time travels, and it's just I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of myself that this is actually happening. I'm still like in shock. But it it is happening. And then I realized that no one's going to read this thing because no one knows that I'm writing this book. I needed to start sharing it out with the world. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to start a podcast as if that's easy peasy. And then I realized that first of all, I have no idea how to start a podcast. So that learning curve of YouTube and all the tech and all that was quite steep. Spent a good year on just learning that. It's been a fumbling effort. It's only been the last couple months that I've kind of honed in on okay, this is the direction that I'm going. This is the Cha-Cha Beat podcast. And obviously it's going to evolve into something because I can't do this. I can't be talking about my fear of getting started forever because eventually I'll be so far past the starting point that there'll be other things to talk about. Can't I can't even, like, fathom what that's gonna be because it's all very inconceivable to me at this point. We're just taking it, like, step by step, beat by beat. But my point is that it's really easy to say, like, "I'm gonna start a podcast." Really easy to say that. But to actually do it, at least for me, because I quickly found out that I had, like, a grave fear of speaking into the microphone, which really caught me by surprise because I don't really have a fear of speaking, of, like, public speaking. I love, like, witty banter and, like, just kind of snapping back. Like, I do it on impulse, like, I can't stop myself. Do you know how many times I would get in trouble in my previous life? As of 2 years ago, I was laid off from my corporate job, which will now be known as my last corporate job. But prior to this new venture that I'm taking on of the Cha Cha Beat, I was in digital marketing, working gal, office gal, and I would just constantly get in trouble for just being too sassy for the office. Like they don't really want to know what you think when you work in an office. They just want you to kind of, put up and shut up, and if you are speaking, you should be speaking in like word salad, corporate lingo, buzzwords kind of language, which I was like pretty much incapable of doing. I prefer to point out that that executive just gave a whole speech and like that they sounded like a moron. Like that didn't make any sense. Does anyone know? Does anyone know what they're talking about? Or does that plan make sense to anyone at all? Because, like, to me, that was just, like, word salad bullshit, and it turns out that they don't really like when you say that out loud in an office, especially when you have such a loud projecting voice as I do, and so I was, like, really surprised to find out that when you put a microphone in front of me, I was like, terrified. Terrified. And so there was, like, yes, there was, like, a year learning curve of, like, how do I even set all this up? And then there was another year learning curve of, like, okay, why am I so scared? How do I be less scared? And then there was a learning curve. I don't know if you want to call it a learning curve, but like a self evolution curve of working on my self-worth and that, like, I do have something of value. I am offering value. I may not be teaching you anything specific. I may not be, commenting on the latest pop culture or the war or I don't know, whatever like is like the hot thing on YouTube right now for like the culture wars to be debating on, or I'm not teaching you. I don't know. I'm not teaching you anything. I'm just being me, honest, raw, vulnerable, authentic, beautiful me on the internet. And that's what the Cha Cha Beat is. I'm just welcoming you in to hang out with me, to chat with me. Hey, tchotchkes, if you wanna, join the chat, please comment. Let me know in the comments who you are, where you are watching from, and what you I don't know. I don't know. Whatever you want to say. As I said, tchotchkes, I'm not like the best at thinking on my feet today. Well, I'm sitting down, so I'm not the best at like thinking today. This happens sometimes. It does. It happens like, I don't know, couple days a month, if you know what I mean. And it's always so amazing to me how like blah I can get, and how when I am in this state of just like and feeling just foggy and stupid and bored and heavy, it's always amazing to me, first of all, how foggy and stupid and bored and heavy I actually feel, and how in this state, like, it just seems like this is gonna last forever. Like, it just seems like, okay, well, this is my reality now. And it always is amazing where, a week from now, this is not going to be me at all. I'm going to have energy and zip and zest and perk and spark and pizzazz and all of the just peppy things. When you reach the bottom of the roller coaster, it inevitably is going to go back up again, and I really just can't wait for that to happen. Tchotchkes, I don't like feeling like this, but but if I didn't show up today, honestly, I was just gonna feel so much worse, because not only would I feel blah and heavy and stupid, but I would also be disappointed in myself, because the perfectionist in me was saying, oh, well, if I can't go to the gym and do like my best set of reps, if I can't show up and be like at my best, do the best that I know I can do, then like, what's the point? And that's kind of a shitty attitude. Like, you can't always do your best, and like it's your best for a reason, because it is like a standout experience, like not everyone can be the best, not every day can be the best, not every podcast can be the best, not every episode of the podcast, because in general, the Cha Cha Beat podcast is like, it's one of the best. In fact, you should like this video and subscribe to the channel, because this is a great podcast. This is like one of the most real things on the internet. This is real. I am real. I am really slow. Today, now, this week. But next week, I'm going to be a totally different person, and it's going to be awesome, and it's worth sticking around for. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a beat, because when the beat comes back stronger than ever in just a couple days, you're going to be really happy that it's showing up on your YouTube feed. And you should like this episode too, like this video too, because I need a little pick me up today, tchotchkes. I'm dragging. Lady tchotchkes, you know what I'm talking about. And there's really just no avoiding it. This is life. This is the road to progress, especially when you are a woman, is not a straight line. It is not a constant, consistent, steady journey. There's a lot of rocks and bumps and pitfalls and fallbacks, but we're not going to let that stop us, tchotchkes, are we? No way. So I'm here getting my reps in. Again, I know what you're thinking. You're like, oh my God, this chick talks about herself so much. But the thing is, yes, yeah, like, I'm talking about myself because like I am me, but I'm talking about all of us. Like, that you have days that like you just don't got it. Like, you went to the gym, for 3 weeks in a row, you were hitting your gym targets, and then like you wake up one day and you're just like, I don't want to go. I don't feel like it, because I'm not going to be able to do like my regular routine, and I'm not going to be as good today. And I'm here to tell you, Trotsky, that like, just show up. Do something that is just going to like hold the line until you can come back tomorrow better, stronger, and just more confident, because you know that you didn't let yourself down, that you stayed the course, and you are serious about your goals and your commitments, and you're not going to let one day of feeling unga bluesin' stop you from keeping calm and cha-cha-ing on. I think that this officially counts as me getting my reps in today. So I want to thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already, please like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a beat. Be sure to click that link in the description to head over to chachabeat.com and start reading my book, Let Me Out, I'm Stuck. All right, tchotchkes, you know what? Until next time, keep calm and cha-cha on.
Cha cha cha.